it's Melissa. Happy Monday. Hope you had a nice weekend, holiday weekend if you were celebrating Easter. If the kids are on spring break, hang in there, mama. Mine are for sure. So, but here's the thing. I have a really exciting Facebook Live today, something that I have been waiting to do for a very long time, questions that I have been getting for years. And so today I'm finally going to be able to show you live how to use a white toner printer. Specifically, this is the Uninet IColor 560. Now here's the thing. I get comments every time, how do I do white? How do I print white? When do I need to print white? And why are you showing us such an expensive printer? This printer is not for everyone. I'm going to say that right now, and I say it every time. This printer is, think if you're considering like a glow forge, you might be in the same kind of category, okay? If you just got your Silhouette Cameo last week or for Christmas or even last year, you're probably not going to be at the point where you need or want or are even considering adding a white toner printer. So typically I don't want to say food chain, but essentially most people start in our area in crafting. Most people start, they get the Silhouette, then they get their heat press. Then they're like, okay, there's some limitations with vinyl and HTV, let me add sublimation. And then when you get to sublimation, you have a couple of choices, because what you're going to find with sublimation are there are still some areas of things that you can't do. For example, you can't sublimate onto dark shirts or cotton, okay? So that's a big spot where people start to realize, oh, I need something more, and then what happens? So you might consider getting DTG, direct to garment, which we've talked about before, which is the Roland BT12, or you might consider getting a white toner printer. Now, white ink is rare in printers, right? That also makes it expensive. So when I say this is a relatively inexpensive white toner printer, I am talking about the price point when it comes to white toner printers, which can get you into 5 figures. This one, I'm going to tell you right now, is $3,700, okay? So here's the thing. It's a relatively inexpensive white toner printer, okay? So I get this all in, you said it, how dare you say it's inexpensive? I'm not saying it's inexpensive. I'm saying it's relatively inexpensive, okay? All right, so here's the thing. Who needs this? Who doesn't? Who can pass? Whatever. If you are making shirts for your kids, if you are kind of have a little Etsy shop that you do on the side, you probably don't need this, okay? This shirt I'm wearing, I did on my white toner printer. Could I do this shirt on HTV? Absolutely. Where you end up wanting or, possibly considering a printer that can do white toner, it's not ink. Toner is like powder, okay? So where you may end up or who may end up there is, as I said, if you've gotten into sublimation and then you're getting requests for, I want that on a dark cotton shirt, I want that on a cotton shirt, I want that on a dark, any nylon shirt, anything, okay? So, or you want to start, excuse me, doing more of a high volume, okay? So you're gonna see how fast this prints. Okay, so if you had to cut this whole shirt here that I just made, and this one's only 3 different colors, but if you had to cut this on HTV, it would take you some time, right? Okay, you have to do the couple colors, you have to weed it all, you have to then apply in 3 different layers with your heat press. With the white toner, you're literally printing, okay? And the way that it prints out is like this, okay? So it's transparent, and what you're going to see is that this looks a little odd, right? These eyes specifically. So what you can see is that it printed white. Do you see how it printed the white? We're gonna put this on a black shirt, and so what happens when you put this on a black shirt is you can knock out the areas of the color of the shirt to allow your shirt to do some of the work for you. So when I apply this onto a shirt, the eyes, which are supposed to be black and didn't print at all, you're using the shirt color to take advantage of that, okay? So it's printing white. What it's also doing is it's putting a thin white layer underneath, or actually over top in this case, the colors. And so it makes it very vibrant when you apply it to your shirt, okay? So we're gonna go through all of this here's another example. This printed white. Again, this is a great example of where a white toner printer can come in. Do you see how it's distressed? If you were trying to cut this on HTV and then weed out all those little bits for 4 different colors, that would take a very long time. And God forbid you want to make more than one of these, okay? So I didn't do it on this one, but you could print, 3 right here real fast, okay? Again, this one I talked about has white, but the big advantage of doing something like this on a white toner printer, when you want to put it on a dark colored shirt or cotton and you can't sublimate, is the amount of time it's going to save you because of all the colors. So if you were cutting this on HTV, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, black, if you did it 6. So you'd have 6 or 7 colors, because I didn't count the white. So you'd have either 6 or 7 different layered colors that you'd have to cut, weed, and then apply, okay? So that's the advantage of using a white toner printer or some other type of printer that prints it all for you. Now the great thing is these designs, both of these designs, I don't know if you recognize this style, these are from Chameleon Cuttables, okay? So I don't know if you guys know Sabine's shop. Sabine is one of my favorite designers. She has a shop on So Fancy. Both of these designs are, you can cut them, you can print them, you can sublimate them. So that's what's so great about it. You already have all of the designs that you need to do this, okay? So you can take the silhouette designs that you already have, you can create them in Silhouette Studio. You do have to run them through the software, which is called ProRip, which comes with the printer. Don't lose the little dongle though, because if you do, you have to rebuy it and it's not cheap, okay? Now, drawbacks. It's expensive. It is not a cheap printer. $3,700 startup. If you get the bundle, which is the same price as just getting the printer, you get everything you need for it. So you get the printer, you get all the ink, you need craft paper, you get the, it takes a bunch of different types of materials, but you'll get the what's called A and B 2-step. That's what we're going to do. We're getting to all of this. I'm just giving you background first. Okay, so you'll get all of that, and I linked to it, okay? So you also need a heat press, and the reason that I'm bringing this up is because the manufacturer is going to tell you that you need a 1,000 to 1,500 to higher heat press. That is not going to be practical for people that are coming from crafting into this, who likely already have a heat press. The reason that the manufacturer recommends a higher, more expensive, more commercial grade heat press is because you need to know what pressure you're at. The pressure is very, very important. However, I am going to show you how to find the correct pressure on the regular heat press that you have that just has a pressure knob. If you saw the Facebook Live I did last week, we talked about that with the little paper pull, and if you're able to open close very easily, and I have a blog post as well. So all of that stuff is going to help you. If you have to buy, or if you buy into the fact that you have to buy a more expensive heat press than you already have, that's going to add to the price of the printer, and for a lot of people it's going to make it really out of reach. Okay, so I'm going to tell you that that's what the manufacturer is telling you, but I'm going to tell you that I'm not buying a new heat press to do this. Okay, so we're going to work with what we have. Now, biggest drawback to me as a Mac user, it doesn't run on Mac. Okay, so there are a couple ways you can get around that. You can run an emulator, or you can use what I do is I have a cheap PC that in the back, that I just use, and I have it on there. The only thing I have on this computer is software programs that do not run on Mac, okay? All right, so let me show you how to print. I've talked enough. So the printer is here. You probably can't see, my design is in here. I'm going to print another one of these, okay? So this one I already printed, it's this size. This one I'm gonna make even bigger, and we are going to print that. So all I need to do is, in my software, ProRip, I need to tell it to print. I need to just click the print button. Before I do that, I'm gonna take my paper. This is the transfer paper. This is step A, okay? And you're gonna just place it down here in the bypass tray, okay? Okay, and then see, it just pulled it in, okay? Then up here, I'm just going to click print. It's going to take a minute, and then it's going to send this to print. I can see on my computer now, it went from pending to active. So it's going to start printing. So those of you who are asking, this is what I'm printing. I'm printing another one of these in a larger size, same design, I just rescaled it, okay? Now, again, I told it I didn't want it to print black. The reason I don't want it to print black is because the eyes are supposed to have black, but we're putting it on a black shirt. But what you can see is that it printed white. And that's really important because most printers can't print white, okay? So this is going to print, uh-oh, telling me it's out of paper. Okay, hold on, let's see. Okay, I'm just telling it to shut down because that's the easiest way that I troubleshoot this thing. Now, I will tell you right now, right off the bat, this is not without a learning curve, okay? I have spent weeks, and I'm going to show you that in a second. This thing is not without a learning curve, and I have a pile of shirts here to prove that, okay? But the reason that I do this is so that you guys can get up and get started quicker. If you want to educate yourself, there are tons of resources, but what I found is that a lot of those resources want you to jump into a million different options in the software, and it becomes extremely overwhelming. Okay, it says it's shutting down. Let's see. Come on. Okay, it's not going to do that. Then we'll just unplug it. Hold on. That'll turn it off. Okay. All right. And just trick it. Okay. So I'm going to show you this while that starts back up. I'm going to show you this pile of shirts that I have been practicing on. Okay. So here's one. Okay. This one didn't work right in the middle. I didn't have enough pressure when I was pressing. Okay. Put this back in. Oh, okay. Hold on a second here. This is why I did it ahead of time, but let's see. Hold on. I literally just, okay, we wanted to print on the bypass tray. Okay. Let's see if we can get this to print. Okay, hold on here. Now, like I said, this is not, this, just hold on a sec, because like I told you guys, this is not, this has a learning curve, okay? Let's see, why is it not? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring you down here so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can just see. So I'm just going to add my design back in. It's already there, but it got an error for some reason. So I'm just going to bring my narwhal back in. It's on my computer. Okay, so here it is. It's going to come in. It's going to be really big. Now, all I'm going to do is, can you see here how, whoops, oh my God. Not only am I learning this software, but I'm also learning this computer, which, oh. Okay, let's see. So we want this, see how it has this red area? That means it's too large. So all I need to do is right click and click modify and then scale. And I'm gonna tell it that I want it to fit the width to the page, okay? And it automatically scales it. Now I'm going to tell it that I want it to print. So I've already, actually, before I do that, I need to tell it that I don't want, see how it has black? I'm going to tell it that I don't want it to print the black. So all I have to do that is go to one menu and click production plugin. It's already there. And I'm going to tell it that I want it to knock out the black so it will not print the black. See how this one has black and this one doesn't? I know you're very far away. And then we're going to click OK. The black is going to be removed from there. And then I'm going to print this. Okay, and if this print doesn't work, which it should, then I'm going to show you on the one that I pre-printed, which is why I pre-print, because sometimes things don't want to go my way while I'm live. Okay, so it's active. It says it's going to print. Let me raise you back up here so you can see. Okay, hopefully that'll work for us. Okay, so as I was saying, now that's printing. So I have done a whole bunch of these. This shirt I sacrificed. Again, not enough pressure. These down here, these little guys, I printed them all, well, the 4 that actually worked out the right way, they were all printed on the same sheet, and then I cut them apart. You can see a couple of them didn't work right. This one, I was using a different type of material. It's not supposed to be purple. There's a printed image under there. I did it backwards. My point in all of this is there is a learning curve. This one looks distressed. It's not supposed to be distressed. It's supposed to look like this, okay, like this one. So there are things, a lot of things that you need to learn with this whole thing. Here's one I was trying to do for Blake. I mean, this came out really great. Yeah, the whole paper was like stuck on there. Okay, so anyway, the reason I show you that is because I have a love-hate relationship with this, and I finally decided that I love it. So it's, oh my God, what is wrong with this? Okay, well, that is giving me a panic attack. So I just printed this one right before I got on here, and like all of my printers, they all decide at the last minute that they don't want to work for me when I am doing a Facebook Live. So we'll try to fiddle with this while we're waiting. But what we're gonna do is take this one that I printed, and I'm gonna show you what you have to do. So this was step A, we printed it, okay? Now, you need to put it on your heat press. The heat press needs to be at 310 degrees for 120 seconds. Before you put your design on there, your transfer on there, you need to warm up the bottom plate. Okay, so this bottom part, so right now I just have it closed because I'm warming up the bottom part of this plate, okay, for like 30 seconds to a minute. Then you're gonna take the sheet that you printed, and you're gonna take what's called step B, the B sheet, which is this. This has the adhesive, okay? And what we're gonna do is we are going to, get everything ready. I'm gonna open this back up, okay? I'm gonna place my transfer ink side down. So it's like this, so that this is the print right here. This B sheet goes right on top. Okay, and then this craft paper, which comes with the bundle, okay, and then we're going to press this for 120 seconds, okay, so that's going to go like that. The pressure is very important. It has to be medium pressure, which is what we talked about last week. So if you haven't figured out what the medium pressure is, the way you find medium pressure on a heat press that just has a knob is you fiddle with, you adjust the knob until when you close it, it's easy enough to close. Like you can do it with one hand. You're not like, again, as I said before, up on your tippy toes. And when you have 2 pieces of paper in there, you can't easily pull them out. So when you get to that point, that's considered medium pressure, okay? I don't know what the heck is wrong with this thing. Now, of course, it literally printed with no issue before I got on here. And now it's going to give me trouble. This is not because it's Monday. This is just how this works for me sometimes. So while we're waiting, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to get our shirt. And I'm just going to use the back of this shirt here, okay? So what we're going to do when this is done, we have to work very quickly. We have to rub the design for about 5 seconds, okay, to remove some of the heat so it's not too hot to handle. Then you need to peel quickly but carefully. You need to peel away that top B sheet so that what happens is you end up with a sheet. I don't know if you can tell here. See how you can see the design on there? That's because in this space, I already did this one, and this empty space that you see here is where the adhesive was removed from this sheet and transferred to this sheet. So this transfer is now all ready to go, all right? Okay, I'm gonna get this printer to work. Okay, here we go. We have to work rather quickly. Okay, we move that to the side. We move this to the side, about 5 seconds. Okay, I'm just rubbing. And then from the corner, I need to peel my design. Now, what you're gonna see is now I have my transfer, okay? So here is my transfer. It has adhesive on the back, which you won't be able to tell by just looking, but you can tell because this piece now is missing where the adhesive was applied. Now, it's time to apply it to my shirt, okay? So my shirt is here. I'm going to make sure I have nice flat surface, okay? Take my design. I'm going to trim this so I don't have any excess. And just trim it quickly with a pair of scissors, okay? And then you're going to take this and you're going to place it on your shirt. And again, you are going to cover with your craft paper. Now this time, it needs to go for 30 seconds. Still on 310, okay? Still on medium pressure. So we're at 120. I'm gonna wait until this gets to 90 and then it'll be done. Then when that's done, I can peel off the clear transparency paper when it's cool. It's very, very important that you wait until it's cool to peel or the adhesive won't stick, okay? So let's clear out this area here so that I have some room to work, okay? Get you so you can see everything here. All right, oh, okay, we're ready. I'm gonna pay attention to that if you don't wanna have to adjust your timer. Okay, so my design is now on here, okay? I need to peel off this transfer. Now, you can use another little cloth or something to kind of help cool it down more quickly, but you wanna make sure that it's very cool before you start peeling it, or else the adhesive is not going to stick and your transfer will come up with your design. Okay, that's still a little warm. Okay, still a little warm. Okay, now, let me make sure you can see. Okay, so now, see how I'm peeling? Okay, the design came off. These distressed areas were part of my design. It's super shiny, which I don't want, okay? So we're gonna press it one more time for about 20 seconds on the heat press. This video is, my camera is like crooked. Okay, one last time. It's called two-step, it's really three-step. We're going to press and we're gonna get that sheen off of there. Okay? Again, just another 20 seconds. So when my timer gets to about 100, it should be ready. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to try to print one more so you guys can just see how this prints, because I refuse to accept that it won't print on camera. Okay, so I'm gonna, oh, I gotta keep track of my time. Okay, so now I have my shirt, okay? And it's not shiny. All right, now, I get a lot of questions. What does it feel like? It feels like a cross between HTV and screen print, okay? So it's thin. That's the other great thing. If you were layering this, you might have up to 4 layers, okay? So this will just print. Same with this. I have already washed this a couple times. I didn't have any cracking. The key is that you need to find, like, designs that are distressed are really good because they have natural breaks in there. The reason that you get cracking when you print specifically with white is because it's too much white. The white layer is too thick. You did not rasterize, which is a whole nother subject, which I'm not getting into today because it's definitely not beginner level. And what was the other thing that I was saying? You didn't rasterize, too much white. Oh, or you washed it and dried it. You want to wash inside out if you can, and you want to line dry, okay, or lay flat to dry, okay? All right, now I'm going to answer all the rest of your questions, but first we're going to give this one more go to see if we can get this guy to print here, okay? So I'm going to put my paper back in, and I need it to just everybody cross your fingers, and okay, ready? This needs to work for us because I refuse to let you leave me without it actually printing, okay? The reason that it's getting confused and the error that I'm getting is it's telling me that I have it in tray 1 and it does not trying to pull it from the bypass tray. So that's just a setting, but I have it in the bypass tray. And it's still telling me I'm out of paper. Please. Okay, so if it's going to tell us that, then let's just try it. It doesn't even want to do it. Okay, well, we're just going to have to come back and do another live another day where you actually see it print. I don't know what else to tell you. As I said, there is definitely a learning curve with this guy, and it doesn't like to cooperate when you're live on Facebook. So just know that when you see YouTube videos, there's editing involved. Okay, that's why I do Facebook Live, so you can see what actually happens. Okay, all right, you guys. Oh, now it's gonna print. It literally says printing. Let's see. Has a mind of its own. Okay, so that, here it goes. Oh, good, it printed. Okay, so what I want you to see, how it prints. Okay, so this is how it prints. And then, well, clearly it didn't. We're gonna try one more time. Again, I refuse to let this thing win. We will win. We will win. Okay. You want to print with the rough first side down. Can be a little bit hard to tell. Okay. Print. Print. Okay. You can print multiple things on a page so you're not wasting this whole page. That's the other thing. You want to practice. You want to practice because this thing, the materials are not inexpensive either. Okay, so I'm just going to warn you guys up front. So those of you who joined super late, and thank you for all of those of you who are stuck with me this whole thing. This is a Uninet IColor 560 white toner printer. So it has drums of toner cartridge, and actually it comes with 5. You only have 4 in there at a time. So one is white, and then you have the CMYK, all of the, like the black, blue, pink, and yellow, or you know how they, cyan, magenta, all the ones that they tell you. So CMYK, so I don't have black in here right now. I only have it with the white one in there, all right? So that's, what is the sheet that I'm using? I'm using 2-step paper. So that's the transfer sheet that you print on, okay? And then you use the B step, the second step, where you press them together. And the process of pressing them together, where you put the adhesive on the back, is called marrying, okay? And when you do that, what you are doing is you are applying the adhesive to the back of the printed toner. Okay, so the adhesive only goes in the areas of the toner. Now, I didn't even get into this, but this printer can do sublimation as well. So you just swap the inks out and put the sublimation toner inks in. Now, here's the thing. I want you guys to know, the sublimation inks, the whole set of them is like $1,500. So you could buy a sublimation printer for cheaper than that. However, if you're limited on space, different things like that, that's where something like this, which has a small footprint, can really you can take advantage of it if you already have it anyway. And the yield on this type of printer is 7,000 sheets. as opposed to a sublimation printer where you're like 350, okay? Okay, we finally got it. Okay, so this is what you're gonna do. So see how I printed the white? Okay, you wouldn't be able to get that on another printer. And we did the whole thing, and we kind of did it in reverse, but this is what it would look like, all right? All right, you guys, there's a whole blog post today on how to set this up, unboxing it. You're doing your very first print, and yeah, go ahead and enjoy, check that out. And again, it's not gonna be for everybody. It's gonna be for those people who are considering, you know, how to expand their small business. But you can use it with the exact same designs that you already have for your silhouette. All right? All right, you guys, have a fabulous rest of your day. I'll see ya.